Here we have the Rolex Submariner. Now, this is the classic, the icon, and arguably the most recognized watch in the world, and also arguably the most sought after dive watch in the market. This was originally released, the first Submariner was released in 1953, and for years, this is what the watch was. It was a Thule no date diver, devoid of frills, devoid of shiny surfaces. It really was just a purpose built tool to take diving. And then over a decade later, in 1969, Rolex introduced the first Submariner date. So for years, a no date like this was the only Submariner option from the brand. And I think it's a little comical that that has flip flopped today. We call the Submariner date, and we refer to, excuse me, the Submariner no date as a no date, but it should be flip flop. The sub is a no date. I know it's silly, it might be semantics, but it is history. Now I'll drop in a screenshot here of some significant changes or firsts for the evolution of the design. That's one thing I have to give Rolex credit for is they slowly refined this watch. It really doesn't look a ton different from the original, though the feel of the watch has changed. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But Rolex debuted something powerful back in 1953, and they've only needed to refine it, tweak it, improve it gradually over the decades. And that's evidence of a strong design. Now, again, the watch in front of the camera today, this is the latest generation of the Submariner, the 41 millimeter version that was introduced in 2020, just a few years ago. Now, a couple big things about this. This is easily one of the easiest watches to wear and to enjoy on a daily basis. And two, this is not actually 41 millimeters nominally. It measures in at 40.6, but it does wear like a 41, possibly even like a 41.5, depending just on the way your wrist is shaped. Now, why do I say this is the easiest watch to wear? It is thin, it is trim, it is comfortable, it is perfectly legible, it has fantastic bezel action, it has the water resistance, this has the lume, this has the adjustability. This just sits so nicely on the wrist, and you can put it in any situation and it feels appropriate. I could wear this with a sport coat, I could wear this with shorts at the beach. It feels at home in any situation, and you could go anywhere. You could match any type of attire. This is, again, the easiest watch to wear when you're looking at the design, when you're looking at the features, and when you're looking at the function of the watch. Now, let me touch on a couple other significant things about the Submariner. I mentioned that this has fantastic bezel action. I'd take that a step further and say this is the best bezel action in the business. This also has the best quick adjustment system in the business. Rolex calls it glide lock, but you have a ridiculous amount of travel. You don't need a tool to make the position changes, and it just feels perfectly engineered and executed. I mentioned this has excellent lume. This is called Chromolite. This is a specific formula that Rolex has. It is white to natural light, but it glows a cyan blue in low light conditions. And I mean, it's exactly what you want to see in a dive watch when it comes to the lume, in addition to the bezel action and the quick adjustment in the clasp. One kind of knock on this is it has a fairly average feeling crown over at the 3 o'clock position. Yes, this is a trip lock crown. It's not going to get water come through those multiple gaskets and whatnot, but the feel of it is not as refined feeling as, say, a Kinesi movement in a Tudor. This feels a little bit more, I don't want to say gritty, but it's more mechanical feeling, if that makes sense. So if you buy this and you're fiddling with the crown, winding the movement, setting the time, just be aware it's not going to feel like a Patek Philippe. It's not going to feel like a Tudor even. This is just average when it comes to the feel of the crown. Now, another point This also does not feel like a tool watch like the original Submariner very much looked like. Nowadays, I know the design has slowly evolved over the decades. This is sleek, this is contemporary, this is more aggressively shaped with the wider lugs and taper of the bracelet, the more aggressive crown guards. This is shiny with that ceramic bezel insert with the white gold marker surrounds and with that deep black lacquer dial. You might love the fact that this doesn't look like a Zen, it doesn't look like a Thule watch, or you might hate that, yeah, and that is a turnoff to you. I just think it's something that should be brought up. Now, should you be afraid to wear a Submariner? Let's say you buy this watch, should you be afraid to wear it? I know every time I do a Rolex video, I get comments like, your wrist is going to get cut off for this watch, or you're going to be straight up robbed if you wear this in public. I see those types of comments every time I post a Rolex video. And in my opinion, I say know your environment, know your region, and act accordingly. If you live in an area of the world where you shouldn't be wearing a Rolex in public, then don't wear one in public. If you live in an area of the world where you feel comfortable wearing a Rolex in a day to day situation, buy insurance for that watch. Don't risk not having insurance for a Rolex watch. Now, two things that I want to end on. Can you scratch a Submariner itch with a Tudor monochrome? My answer is no. I know they're very similar looking. The Tudor kind of is what the original Submariner used to be, very toolish, not shiny, a little bit smaller. That's on purpose. I say if you want a Submariner, the only way you're going to scratch that itch is if you buy a Submariner. A stand-in will only ever be good for a certain amount of time. It will never really or truly take the place of the watch you want in the first place. Now, lastly, should you buy a Submariner as an investment? Let's say you have the opportunity, you have $10,000 that you want to invest with. I say do not invest in Rolex. Do not do that. If you want to wear a Rolex, if you want to enjoy a Rolex, then absolutely buy one, wear it, insure it, go on an adventure with it, take it hiking, take it camping, take it to the beach, pass it on to family and future generations. But don't buy one as a safe queen if you're not actually wanting to wear one, because honestly, they don't appreciate all that much. Like this no date, yeah, it might be going for 2,000 more on the secondary market than you can buy it at retail. You would be far better suited to take that money and, put it in an index fund, or do an actual investment. Don't invest in a luxury product like a Rolex Submariner. And also, you're just making it harder for the rest of us who want to wear these watches to acquire these watches. So get those speculators out of the market. Only buy a sub or a Rolex if you want to wear it and enjoy it. That said, thank you to my friend Bobby who lent me his personal Submariner. I am Submariner less at the moment after flipping my Hulk that I had wore for so many years. So thank you to Bobby. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I post content like this all the time. You can search through over 1,000 videos that I've previously done on all kinds of watches, from micro brands to mainstream brands to luxury brands. You name it, I try to cover it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.